what it mean to be the best. Riding foes, feeling unimpressed. Make me reminisce, throwing bows, bend the corner, set my mind upon a goal. All I know is stay down, bad, I'm the goal. Okay, feel like the best, the great. Now ain't no debate. Yeah. Okay, feel like the best, the great. Now ain't no debate. Yeah. I ain't gotta say much. Know the boy got a touch. Another win for the rush. Another win for the rush. See me once and got a crush. See you twice and that's enough. Get the ring sized up.
What's up? Welcome back to Tell the Truth. Episode 50. Crazy to say, man. 50 episodes. Big 5-0. Ain't that something, man? This is pretty cool to say that we got 50 episodes.
50 in the books, man.
Better hit that DG.
Halfway there.
Hit that DG.
Halfway there.
Yes, sir. Speaking of numbers followed by O's, the Chiefs improved to 8-0 on the season, stay undefeated on Monday Night Football versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in what was a rainy. It was very rainy. Yeah, just say Arrowhead Stadium. But a lot of fun though, an entertaining game, probably more entertaining than it should have. And we'll kind of get into that as well as we go through this. DG, CJ, how you guys feeling, man, about the Chiefs overall, dog?
First of all, let me say, blessed to see 50 episodes with you guys. It's been great, man. This journey we've been on, or whatever. Hopefully, it's a lot more to come for us. Man, glad to be 8-0 at this point. Really, I feel like a really good game, especially from 15 last night. One of his cleaner games of the year.
3 tutties.
Great to see that chemistry with him and D-Hop already clicking. I almost cried last night in the red zone twice. Just great to have a guy who I know now, no matter what, can beat and win their one-on-one matchups. Winning contested catch situations. So that was great to see as well. Defense did their thing. Got off the field when they needed to. Really held Baker Mayfield and them to limited yards and did their thing, man. So all in all, I think it was a really good game. Overtime, of course, it's hard to win in this league. So, I know a lot of people thought with all the injuries the Bucs had, they probably just come in and lay down, but that's just not indicative in this league. Teams aren't just going to come and lay down to the Chiefs. So, great to pull it out, man. And guys had to be clutch. And it was clutch. So, proud of these guys.
They did what was necessary. Go ahead, CJ.
Defense held their own. Obviously, they carried the load like they've been doing all year for us. Obviously, both teams were really good in the red area. I think they were 3 for 3. We were 4 for 5. So both teams scored when we had to. So it's good to see our offense play a overall clean game. Like DG said, no interceptions. Thankfully, that streak is over. I was tired of seeing that. Outside the fumble from Trav, which was unfortunate to see, the offense really did everything they were supposed to do as far as moving the ball, being efficient on short yardage, making big plays in the red area and on third down in the red zone, which were 2 areas we wanted to improve upon. And bringing in a guy like D-Hop takes that area and definitely improves you at a mass majority of areas in a short span of time because he's only been here for 2 weeks so far. So I love to see that. Kareem Hunt, another 20-plus carry day, another bell cow type of day for him. He's been one of the best running backs in the NFL since he's got here, which is crazy to say because this is a guy that wasn't even on a training camp roster. So it's definitely a great time to see, and it's kind of an epiphany for us seeing this in 2017 and 2018. Now we're seeing it all over again now. So, and it's only going to get better with the great news of Pacheco coming back sooner rather than later. So overall, defense did what they were supposed to do. Clean up a little bit of things on offense as far as converting a little earlier. That's just little nuances of D-Hop being integrated on 2-minute drill, but just things you have to just come with time. But overall, we did what we were supposed to do. Like DG said, teams aren't going to lay down. 9.5 is a lot of points. That's why a lot of people took the Bucs with the points, and I'm not mad at you. We probably would have covered if we would have got that interception, that pick six that Jason Reed could have gotten, but plays are there. We got to make those. But outside of that, I'm just glad our efficiency from a red zone area has gotten better. I think from the point when we made the from our bye week and the trade from D-Hop, we went from 22 to 12, I think, as far as red zone efficiency. So we were really low for. I think we were at 28. Actually, we were really low for a while. So we've gotten that corrected. We've gotten better in the red area and converting, and Kareem Hunt actually has a lot to do with that as well. So I'm glad we're back to being efficient and converting on third down, especially in the red zone for sure.
Yeah. I think that's a good place to start. As far as the offense is concerned, and we usually kind of do offensive standouts, etc. But I wanted to switch it up specifically. Just what, to me at least, this was what the performance you were hoping to get out of this Chiefs offense. They were efficient running the ball, not great, but efficient, especially in the second half, in which they kind of shifted the focus to leaning on what was a lot of Kareem Hunt rushing attempts, I should say. Being able to use DeAndre Hopkins and Travis Kelce effectively in the middle of the field. Effective, like they did what they needed to do. Xavier Worthy continued to stretch the field, and we obviously had the issues that they did on the first drive, obviously, and we'll get into that as well. The big thing for me is just one of those two mistakes. You end up taking those out, and the game is completely different. Travis Kelce holds on to the ball when you're driving. You end up getting points on that drive. Game looks different. Xavier Worthy catches that ball, either is in the end zone or catches it and is out at the 1. Then that's 7 points probably on the board there for a drive and to open the game up that you're punting. So those things are the slight, just minuscule differences, and that's before you get into the end around to Xavier Worthy on the other drive. That was I didn't like necessarily. That pushed them back into field goal range too. So it's those little tiny things that they're kind of missing. But to your point, no interceptions breaking that streak, I think, is the massive aspect of it. So sticking on the offensive side of the ball, I think that you had Patrick Mahomes, and again, we kind of talked about Kareem Hunt. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, DeAndre Hopkins. I'm going to give you guys the dealer's choice of who you guys want to talk about between that trio, either Mahomes, Hopkins, or Kelce. CJ, you can go ahead and start us off, and then I'll go to DG. I'll take the third guy.
I guess I'll go with the obvious D-Hop. Welcome to KC. It was a good moment for him. You can kind of see the excitement on his face, obviously, when he was making plays in the middle of the game, doing a celebration for Remember the Titans, and obviously hitting them with the too small, you too little after the second touchdown as well. It was great to see. We've been kind of praying for these days for a long time to kind of get a receiver that's not necessarily in the mantra of what Andy and Veach are used to getting, and usually having faster speeder guys that not necessarily have a big catch radius. So having a receiver like this who necessarily isn't fast, but you could just tell his presence alone is felt when Patrick threw that ball up on third down and D-Hop made a play in between three people. That's what he's been his whole career. A guy that has arguably one of the best catch radiuses in the NFL. I think he has the lowest drop rate since he came into the NFL of active players right now. So if the ball's thrown in his way, he's probably going to come down with it more oftentimes than not. Everybody's always gave him his praise and his flowers for being a consistent pro, and he showed it last night. Anytime we needed a big play, anytime we needed to convert a play on third down, first down, he was always there. Little nuances when he caught a speed out instead of running out of bounds, put his foot on the ground, turn his shoulder, spin out and get upfield, just little things like that. So yeah, he just showed why he's still one of the best in the league. I know he's older, never really been fast, so not really been. He looked like himself to me from what I've seen in Arizona and Houston. Maybe like a tiny bit of burst is gone, but as far as catching the ball in space and making plays after the catch, D-Hop did everything you could ask him to do last night. So I think he finished with 7 catches? For 80 yards.
7 for 86, I believe, was the ultimate. And obviously both touchdowns, which were incredibly key. And you got to give, it's so nice because you're down on the goal line. And obviously it's raining the way that it is, but to have an actual wide receiver that you trust to go out there and make those catches on a consistent basis is massive. It changes the course of what this offense looks like as well. Saw him kind of going across the formation on a little, crosser. Go ahead, get you 8 yards real quick. And this is the one. Yeah, he did do a little bit of everything.
Beautiful.
I pray for this.
I used to pray for times like this, man. Like,
somebody hit us with the Meek Mill meme right now,
bro.
Trying to see because I go ahead, DG.
Nah, it's just you got a legitimate wide receiver. What? It's just beautiful, It's made me want to cry last night, man. It's just to see the elite level of route running, the hands. you know, the ability and awareness to know where to be for Pat and just have that chemistry already. It's just it
There's no
was
greater feeling than going to the red zone and watching DBs have to make a decision. When they see
like
Trav and D, they're like, I don't know what to do. That's the best feeling ever being a fan because either way they're going to be wrong because Pat's going to make the right decision. So it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling.
Absolutely, it's an excellent feeling. And this was, I mean, it's being able to make those tough catches, man, in the middle of the field. It's just his hands are so trustworthy.
So routine.
It is, and Mahomes is incredibly comfortable just putting it on his frame and making sure that he can make that play. Like he doesn't have to worry about the Kadarius Tonys or Sky Moores of the world, in which you throw the ball in the middle of the field, you don't know where the ball's going to end up because it get tipped up and end up somewhere else.
Exactly.
It's not that situation here. This is a guy that is going to be sure-handed. If you put the ball in his frame, he's bringing it in.
Just plucks everything, man. Sit right here. Get a good stem. And it's just go get it.
I ain't gonna lie. Man. This where I almost cried, bro. Like
that's just D-Hop. I screamed at Chuck when I was at the game. I said, that's why you signed D-Hop for plays like that. Yes. I know the touchdowns were amazing, but plays like this, nobody else on the roster is making this play, bro. We need guys that can do stuff like this. Catch balls in traffic. Like
I'll take it a step further. Nobody in the Mahomes era is making a play like that.
Absolutely.
It's just a fact. Mahomes navigating the pocket and being able to put that, where only Hopkins kind of can come down with it. And Hopkins' hands, and then also the chemistry to feel the space and say, okay, there's a little bit of space in between here. Let's see if I can give Mahomes an outlet. And Mahomes already trusts him to make those types of plays. That is awesome.
He caught that ball pinkies down too.
He did it off of 1 foot, fam. Look, run it back.
Pinkies down. He just let it fall to him. That's
run it back, man. Look, as great as D-Hop is, we got to stop this narrative, right? Like, love Lamar Jackson. I love Josh Allen. I think those guys are great, and they're not bad, bro. They're not the best player in the league.
They're really, really good, just not better than them, bro.
Off 1 foot, down about.
This is 270 pounds on your chest of Kalijah Kancey, who's a really, really good young player by the way, for the Buccaneers. Just in your chest.
Not like it's a D-Hop had to go over there and fight over people's hands and stuff like
it fell right.
It's a dime right in his hands.
You look at where the 3 defenders are. There's a safety over the top of DeAndre Hopkins. There's one to his left, and there's one behind him. There is one place you can put this ball, and that's exactly where Mahomes put it. That is
down. He didn't go get it. His pinky's down. It fell right to him.
It's the only place that you can put that ball. And because DeAndre Hopkins is sure-handed, he's able to bring that in, even though it's a contested catch situation. But to your point, CJ, it's not a place where he's going up over these guys with his hands up, pinkies up. As you said, it's pinkies down where that ball is coming into the one window that it can be caught and completed. So
perfect, bro.
Just hook it to my veins, bro.
DG said
inject it into my veins.
And we'll take a look because these are the obviously the red zone plays in which the DeAndre Hopkins is up scoring. This is a nice play design. Get a little 4 strong. Travis Kelce is going to sit down. Noah Gray going to run a little bit, sit down as well. Kelce's kind of stutter go ends up pulling that linebacker from the middle, opens up. Yeah. Hopkins understands the timing of when to get to the back line and brings it in. Yeah,
but that safety, they got the Antoine. He's like, this is the play I was talking about. He's in a bind. He doesn't know what to do. In film they're saying, hey, double team 87 at all costs. Now, if you do that, you have to pay for that decision because obviously you have a high-low combination, like DMac said. Trav comes in short, draws to Levante David. I think Antoine Winfield, and then D-Hop goes right behind him, and the corner has no leverage. He's already outside. D-Hop breaks him back in. It's over.
And it's the nuance of the route timing of when you have guys like Travis Kelce and DeAndre Hopkins that understand these things work in concert to get people open. Like obviously Travis Kelce gets bumped off here. But, he doesn't, quit on the route or anything. He's just, all right, I'm pulling him down.
Keep working.
And Redfield doesn't have a choice. He has to come up to take that route away.
He has to.
Yeah. And DeAndre Hopkins doesn't.
He's literally throwing the ball in the side of Trav. He's like, all right, if you come up, I'm going to throw it back. If you stay back, I'm going to throw it to Trav. Like, they're literally right behind each other. So he had no choice.
And then you high-low him. And that's where you get down into the red zone. It's condensed area. You have to find ways to make space to actually get into those windows, and having guys like Travis Kelce and DeAndre Hopkins both from hands, physical body type, and then also the understanding of the nuance of where to be. That's where it just makes all the difference in the world as well. And it was a lot of fun to watch. And this was, this is just straight up, hey, you
Route
guys,
running.
we got a bunch over to the top. There's only so much help you can give DeAndre Hopkins, and,
One step. Give me that.
that's all I need.
One step.
It's a
He too
term
little.
that I like
He
to
too little.
use. It's route running. If you want to go back to the other view,
Yeah, what's that one?
it's
He too
called
little, DG. He too little.
it's called putting the baby to sleep.
He too
Lullaby.
little.
We get here up to the line, and we just gonna lullaby and put this little baby right here. Our
too
son,
little.
my son right here. This guy. I don't know what his name is. That guy right there. I'm gonna put him to sleep real quick. Do you see the sense of panic? Do you see the backpack? Like, I don't know what he's about to do.
I don't know what to do.
And I pointed this out in the when we got DeAndre Hopkins, whether it was Sky Moore at the bottom of the screen or Justin Ross at the bottom, it doesn't matter. In this situation, if it's Sky Moore or whatever, and I hate to keep saying Sky Moore because it really applies to any wide receiver. It could be Xavier Worthy at that point. He doesn't look to this matchup because he doesn't have the trust and faith that it's going to open up this quickly enough for it to be a window. He's looking to the bunch because he doesn't think he has a chance. Mahomes immediately is like, I'm looking to see this one-on-one matchup because I trust DeAndre Hopkins to create the space necessary. And that's exactly what he does.
To win
and get the touchdown.
That's an easy off the line. Heavy, one step.
Right. Contested catch situation. Mahomes, I felt like, does a great job of just, trusting him and firing it in there. It's great throw, but it's an even better. To me, it's an even better route. Like,
no, I 100%
release.
agree.
Beautiful release.
I 100% agree, and I'm so happy he's here, man. I'm so happy he's here.
So I told you last night, you was like, I can just cry right now, bro.
Just like, bro, you know how much we've been begging for one step slants, and next week we're probably gonna do a back shoulder fade, just easy stuff. I'm like, just throw the easy routes that are there. But like DMac said, we've never had nobody that they trust. Now you finally have that guy. It's gonna make everybody's job 10 times easier, bro. So red zone efficiency about to shoot back up. So
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if
obviously,
I want to, like, disclaimer, I did kind of sneak in Mahomes MVP the other day. It was plus 700. It actually low-key went up because before the season it was like plus 5. So
yeah, it was.
He went up ever since Lamar, like DG said, he's been kind of going crazy this year. So if y'all want to place another bet, the value is definitely never going to be better than it is right now, especially if him and D-Hop keep doing what they're doing. So definitely a little sneaky play I would like to get out there for everyone.
It's a fair thing to say, and it's one of those things where there was a lot of hemming and hawing about Patrick Mahomes still being near the top as far as MVP conversations when obviously the touchdown interception is because of A, there's some bad luck that happened with the interceptions, but B, and more importantly, they know this offense is one of those things that can kind of take off as the season goes on without any question. And so I also tweeted it out, that I thought that Patrick Mahomes was going to go on a little bit of a run, as far as some really good efficient play. And that's exactly what it's done. 75%. We scored 28.5, I think it is, points per game. He's at 272 yards per game. He's got 5 touchdowns and 1 interception to this point. So over the last 2 games, he's picked up his performance. And the last thing that I did want to say specifically about Travis Kelce, obviously, was able to make a lot of things happen. Had a lot of short catches, but in general,
you mean that washed guy, the guy that's washed,
the guy that everybody said was washed. Yes,
DG. They said D-Hop was washed, so they both washed.
Hey. He didn't look pretty old last night.
No, he did not.
Damn sure.
But I did want to. No, go ahead.
I'm just my bad.
No, I think this play though perfectly encapsulates what having both Xavier Worthy and Justin Watson to an extent on the field for creating space, and then Travis Kelce and DeAndre Hopkins putting everybody in the middle of the field for the defense in conflict. Yeah, I mean, Xavier Worthy and Justin Watson are going to create that space deep. DeAndre Hopkins has the backside dig, and Travis Kelce is just going to be like, all right, let me find the space where this zone is going to end up opening up. And it's a well-designed route concept, but more importantly, it's just about the threats that are now on the field for these guys. Xavier Worthy, again, just creating that space. Justin Watson creating that space. And this linebacker right here is like, all right, Well, I got Xavier Worthy zooming past me. I see DeAndre Hopkins underneath here about to run this dig. I can't, fully go to Kelce because, I got to account for both of those things. And that's all that's needed for Mahomes to put it on the money on that corner route. he's very frustrated.
Jordan White, he's like, dang, you don't know what to do.
He knew that there were. It's too many things putting you in conflict to account for, and also it needs to be said. Offensive line, I think was a little bit uneven to start out, specifically in pass protection, but over the course of the game, they got better. They did what they needed to as well. So I was overall encouraged by the offensive performance. Anything else you guys want to hit on before we go ahead and flip sides of the ball?
Yeah, offensive line. Obviously first half for YA Morris was a little bit rough. I do want to give him his credit. Second half was a lot better. I won't say it was great or anything like that, but a lot more serviceable. I think they really adjusted really well. I think the first half you could kind of tell Todd Bowles and them had a great plan as far as coming in with some of those stunts and loops with Vita Vea, and I think that was kind of throwing especially the interior of this line off just a little bit. And they struggle. I think Creed Humphrey kind of struggled first half as well too, some pass protection sets or whatever. But second half, the adjustments at halftime really seemed to be pivotal. Gave Pat a lot more time, and then Pat last night I think was very efficient. A couple throws I know that he would like to have back, but all in all, man, even with the ankle injury and everything like that, he's a warrior. Battled through it and still delivered, a lot of great throws to his receivers last night. So that's it.
No, yeah, absolutely. And the last thing before we go and flip sides is I just want to point out, because we talked about it a little bit last week, of the ability for Samaje Perine to fill in that third down role is continuing to pay dividends. And this is an example of, once again, the kind of Jet McKinnon-like ability.
Almost Jet McKinnish.
It did look very Jet McKinnon-ish.
I said that. Is that Jet? No, that's Samaje.
He gotta stay in phase. Stay in phase. Keep your eyes on him.
Just know where to float when he starts scrambling. Just know where to float.
Keep your eyes on him.
He'll find you.
I will say one thing. I probably won't go ask CJ. This play, my heart was in my ass.
I mean, everybody's
to see Pat living, and then to see it was non-contact. I thought it was an Achilles.
It was.
I thought the season was cooked at that point.
Literally scoring a touchdown, the entire stadium went silent because it was and it was there were a few Bucs fans in there as well. They were silent too. Like, it was just one of those things. Where
you could hear it. I was going to ask y'all because I know y'all went to the game, but you could hear it on the broadcast.
It was.
You could hear a pin drop.
I thought he rolled his ankle. I was like, God dang it, Pat!
Everybody was like.
I didn't see it. I just kind of saw her. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say all the reporters like Ari and Ian and Adam, they're all tweeting like non-contact, and everybody's like,
It took him so long to get up, and then because I literally did have a view of it. I think I tweeted the video of it, but I had a view into him going into the tent and taking a look at it, and I was like, I can't tell what exactly, but then they started kind of just looking at his specific. Oh, wow, that was loud. And you guys, of course, didn't hear that. And they started looking at what his specific, kind of ankle was looking like, his area, because I was diagonally looking into the tent, and he's just over there, it looks like they were getting it wrapped up on a consistent basis, and he was just kind of sitting there. It didn't seem like too many people were like talking to him or anything too drastic was happening. So I was kind of I was like taking deep breaths. Fortunately, he told Carson Wentz to go ahead and sit down, and I got it, fam. So
he literally started warming up, literally like that same drive, like when Baker was out there. He was on the sideline throwing. So
he didn't stay in there long.
So they probably taped it the inside and then retaped the cleat. I'm assuming
he was already taped up. That's why I was about to roll. I'm like, dang, how you rolled up and you already got taped up? Like,
it feels like he's always been taped up, but they also, I'll say this also, Nate Taylor kind of made the point that because KU has been playing on the field and there's been so much rain, the field isn't necessarily at the conditions in which it normally would be. And so this is something I haven't necessarily paid attention to, if he's consistently wrapping up his ankles regardless. But I know that this was probably a precaution that he probably took just to be sure.
For sure.
And it may
When you
pay
play on that
dividends
kind of
in this
grass,
case.
you kind of have to because, rolled ankles slipping underneath you is very liable. So I'm sure going forward at home, he'll definitely do it often for sure now.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, shout out to Smart JP Ryan on that play. And thank God that
Shout
Patrick
out to
Mahomes
Bobby
is
Stroup with
okay.
all them ankle workouts they be having him do.
Absolutely.
Them weird ankle
Absolutely.
injuries he be doing in the summertime. It look crazy, don't it? But it works.
Hey man, keep them ankles loose. Keep them
doing
ankles
it.
loose, baby. Keep
I hate
ankles
them
loose.
workouts. It makes your foot feel weird, but it helps. Whenever you do roll your ankle, you bounce back quicker. So
Absolutely. Okay. So on to the defense. It's a little uneven.
Yeah, we all did.
onto the defense.
I did absolutely, Chris. You're not lying. So about specifically this defense, I thought it's tough. It didn't feel like the defense necessarily was bad. This was one of their worst performances that they've had. Obviously, 28 points, and certainly in the context of there was not 28, 24 points.
Still ain't gave up 30 yet.
Still haven't given up 30. So I'm getting
the Super Bowl.
28. So there you go. They did a good job at being able to kind of not allow anything on the ground, which they've always done. Bucky Irving was able to create some space. It was more so in the passing game, to be honest with you.
I'm about to add him to the list. Thank you for reminding me.
He honestly was having some worse. I shouldn't say that way. He could have had a much worse day if he wasn't as good of a running back as he is at missing tackles. To be honest with you, he created a lot more space for runs that would have been negative to turn into positives as well. So they did a good job versus the run. I thought that the offensive game plan was just good at being able to attack Cade Otton, specifically early on, the tight ends, really get after him. And then kind of that final drive was really uneven. But I'll let you guys go ahead and give your thoughts on the defense as a whole. And things that stood out, and then we'll kind of have the secondary conversation as well afterwards.
Good.
Yeah, I don't think it's one of their best performances that they've had this year, but still held another team under 100 yards rushing. Whole team, though, Bucky Irvin and Rashard White were very limited. Those were two guys that I felt like offensively, with how many injuries the Bucs had at this point in time at the receiver position, that those were two guys that they would probably lean on a little bit more to hold them and limit them from explosive plays. Didn't give up a lot of explosive plays last night either. It was a lot of Baker and them just kind of thinking and dunking their way down the field, having to make them drive down the length of the field to kind of score. But I felt like pass rush was still a little bit lackluster, what you would want to see, but still able to get to the quarterback. George Karlaftis had a good game. I saw some flashes from Josh Uche when he was on the field. At points in time, his speed is real off the line. There was one play.
He hawked people down too.
Yeah, he caught Bucky Irvin from behind.
Oh God!
And it's not a lot of people in this league, I think, especially in the recent coming years, that's gonna catch Bucky Irvin from behind. So, Josh Uche really flashed a couple of times. Hopefully, they can get him in there and get him a little bit more snaps, get him a little bit more comfortable. But yeah, man, I feel like the defense was fine. You would like for them to be a little tighter on coverage, especially in the secondary. I feel like some of that has to do a little bit with how the pass rush is playing at this point in time. There were some plays that were given up by Trent McDuffie that kind of uncharacteristic at points, but yeah, I think that that it was enough for them to win tonight. It was obvious, or last night. It was obvious that the offense had to play a little bit up past their standard, in this game. So that's just the way this game goes. Sometimes your defense is not always gonna have it on nights, and sometimes the offense has to step up and do a little bit more. So, but still, good complimentary football. Came out with the dub, so that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, CJ, what about you as far as the defense?
No, defense did what they're supposed to do. Not too many mistakes. Obviously, it doesn't look good when you see guys convert. I think a lot of the things from Sterling Shepard's point, from a lot of the heat back that we were getting from fans and from watching the game, a lot of his catches came on third down. So he was converting a lot of downs to keep them on the field. But from a yardage standpoint, like DG said, they really didn't do a whole lot. He finished with 40-some yards. and Baker barely got to 200, and that was even with the last drive that he needed to do so. So overall, the defense did their job. It just didn't look pretty because they kept converting third downs to stay on the field. Like I said earlier, both teams converted a lot on third downs. So both teams were able to extend their drive to stay on the field, and both teams were really good when they got into the red area. But overall, the defense really didn't give up a whole lot of big plays outside of the tight ends, which we know that's our weak point. And for names, we're not going to speak on at this point. But overall, we know what the strengths of teams of this defense is. We stopped the run at a high level. Rashad White finished with 19 yards. Bucky finished with 24. Take that for what it's worth. Add that to the list. From a receiving standpoint, outside of Cade Otton, which the tight ends coming into the game, we knew that's going to be his main target. That's his best weapon right now. Nobody else had a good day on this defense. So I know there was a lot of heat that we got on the timeline today from fans, and a lot of it is valid. But overall, the receiver didn't do much, honestly, as far as converting. But overall standpoint, they didn't really beat us to go down there and win the game. Obviously, they're NFL, they're professionals, just like DG stated earlier. So they're going to make their plays. And Baker Mayfield is one of is slowly starting to become a very underrated quarterback in the NFL. And it's kind of hard to say that being the number one overall pick. But he's a guy that nobody really thinks of in that light. But he's played damn good football in the last 2 years, with or without Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. So you got to tip his hat and give him respect in his flowers.
Very deserving of the contract.
Absolutely. The extension he got was well worth it. He's definitely a guy that's trying to win that division. Going out there, a guy's going to compete. He's not going to give up. I respect that for sure. He's always been one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch since Oklahoma because he just has guts, and the guy just loves to play ball. He's a gamer, and he played like that yesterday. So for our defense to go out there, they did their job, held the team to under 28 points. Definitely don't want to see him score that much. I would like to see us get more stops in the red zone, like I said earlier. But overall, I think just the biggest thing for our weakness is our defense now. We just got to figure out a way to stop these tight ends and cover them. And that's the thing of personnel, scheme, and time, and knowing your personnel and knowing who to put out there at certain times. But outside of that, we've done a great job stopping the run. Didn't really give up too many big plays, explosive, like 20 yards down the field. So defense did their job. If Justin Reed would have got that interception, we probably wouldn't be talking about that K-Dot play down the field, honestly, because that would have changed. Honestly, we could have got up 7-0, took the whole momentum of the game. That probably would have changed the game. It's probably not even a 6-point win. It's probably a 13 win in regulation instead of going into overtime. So those little plays right there, tips and overthrows, D corners always say you got to get those. So those are plays you have to make, and those are plays that can be the difference of a game. But overall, the defense, not really too much nitpick, honestly. George got a couple sacks. Chris got that pressure as well. Turk was playing really, really fast last night like he's done all year. So, yeah, I can't really nitpick too much about the defense. Just little things here or there. But overall, we just got to figure out our corner situation, figure out our rotations, and get guys more acclimated. Christian Walla-Watts is going to play a lot more until we get guys back in the fold. But thankfully, our schedule is not as crazy going forward. So we don't see too many great offensive weapons. Like we got Cortland Sutton with the Broncos this week. And then we have the Chargers with Quinn Johnson and Ladd McConkey, who we already saw previously this year. So thankfully, our saving grace until we see Buffalo and Amari Cooper and them boys. Not too many crazy weapons we have to see from a defensive standpoint. So we're sitting pretty good so far.
Yeah, look, I mean, that's the thing about it. I am glad because I actually did forget about that Justin Reed dropped interception. It's one of those things. It's like
that would have changed the game, bro.
Those little things, the same things that we've talked about on offense. Xavier really goes out and gets that touchdown or whatever. That 7 points on the board. Justin Reed gets that interception. It's a totally different ball game. And those things happen over the course of the season. But those are things that also contribute to games being a little bit closer than you want them to be. I thought that. Oh, I definitely just remember that. I hate when you remember something in the middle of the podcast that doesn't have anything to do with the podcast. I wanted to roll down kind of the third downs that they were able to convert, and just take a look at what ended up happening on those plays. For sure.
11 personnel, sending a guy in motion, just run a little fly motion, a little mesh concept.
And they were able to kind of get that speed out to Sterling Shepard. And this is a good job from Baker Mayfield, really IDing that this is going to end up being a cover zero look and getting the ball out to it.
Great motion, recognizer. Yep. Now you got 10 yards of cushion. That's too easy. That's pitch and catch.
Yeah. Yeah, way too easy.
We'll run that back real quick.
2x2 said motion and man. That lets you know it's man. B Cook's 10 yards off. I'm running an 8-yard speed out. That's too easy.
And it's one of those things where sorry, go ahead.
It looked like he was a little frustrated. I don't know if he was frustrated with Josh Williams. I don't know if Josh took the wrong man.
No, it's cover zero. Like Demon says, it's man.
Yeah.
And B Cook's just in a bad position. Like that's why you run the motion to get those indicators. Now you know, hey, he's 10 yards off. He can't cover this route. Anything I run, he's going to be too short. So
on the replay last night, I was looking. I was like, I don't know why B Cook's mad. That was his guy. Like so. But you got to get over there and be able to make a play and give him better.
Either way,
I mean, even if you go, to be fair, the call there, obviously, because of the motion, is you're taking the outside guy. So it may be one of those things where Williams does end up messing up the call, as to DG's point of saying you shouldn't be following here. You should
Maybe
be
it's in
taking
and
the
out. Yeah, maybe you take the outside leverage guy. Yeah, I mean,
and
you could
I don't know what it could be, either one of those things, especially because we've seen
yeah.
this 1,000 times. We've seen it specifically. Trent McDuffie in the Super Bowl was the immediate thing is you say, hey, play a little bit more outside leverage, because if it's going over the middle, we know that we're gonna have a guy in his face, to make it difficult to have.
But my thing, even roll it back, DMac, right before the snap. B Cook's not in position to make that play. That's why I think the original call is correct, because if that is B Cook's man to follow 81, who's in motion, I believe that's his number. He's not in position to make that play. He's already 3 yards inside of his leverage. Look where he's at now, right before the ball is snapped. B Cook is not in position to make that play. That's why I think the original call is correct, because if Josh is willing to follow him, if that B Cook's man, he would already been creeping down, and then he would have left Sterling Shepard wide up. That's why I think the original call is correct, because his leverage and depth he's too far away.
The one thing I will say, it is 3rd and 9. So right now, Cook's at the sticks.
Yeah, exactly.
And if he's at the sticks and he can play top down off of that route, and it's an inside route, then that's one of those circumstances in which, even if he's coming from depth, you trust him.
This is low key, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with his leverage. It's just Sterling Shepard's a very fast receiver. Like, if that's 3rd and 11 or 3rd and 12, like a couple yards deeper, he doesn't get that first down, because he played this correctly. You let him throw it everything short, then you rally and tackle. He just did a great job of throwing the ball early, so Baker knows he doesn't have to think about it. He can catch the ball and get upfield. So that's just a great play call.
This is where we, obviously we don't know what the assignments are. We don't know what their checks are as far as the motions are concerned. If I had to guess, I think that Williams and Cook had a miscommunication here, and Williams maybe took the inside guy when he wasn't supposed to, because this is far too much outside. So maybe Cook was just completely out of position, or they had that miscommunication where Williams took the inside guy when he wasn't supposed to. I think that if Williams is supposed to take the outside guy in that circumstance, Cook can play that inside tight end route just fine from top down in a 3rd and 9. But obviously this is unacceptable as far as how much cushion was given out there to the outside. And shout out to Baker Mayfield for being able to make a good throw. DG, what were you going to say there?
No, I was going to say, I think, if I'm Spags and I'm looking back at this, there's 2 things that I kind of probably want to change about this. Feel like B Cook on that should probably be cheating over.
That's what I'm saying.
Just a little bit more.
If that really is your man, and come up a little bit.
And also, I really kind of feel like with the blitz, they probably should have had somebody else sitting over the middle, kind of,
like a robber type. In
a robber situation or whatever, to kind of cover up the middle of the field in that void. But I mean,
my guess to that second point is that because they have so many guys coming from depth at this standpoint, they feel like they're going to get
anywhere. So
they feel like they're going to get a free rusher, and they have clogged up the middle of the field with hands for guys to get their hands up if necessary.
And he timed it perfectly. Christian jumped. He timed it up. Baker just made a hell of a throw. Like, he's in his face thinking he can mess with the vision, because usually that's the same play blitz we did versus Purdy, a late slot blitz. Hopefully he can get in his eyes, maybe get in his vision, and maybe force him to make a bad throw. And usually, to DG's point, they would do that versus a mobile quarterback. I would like to have a spy, but Baker's not going to run away from you. So in this situation, you're thinking, if I can get in his face, maybe mess up the timing, mess up the throw, that's a hell of a throw. Like, regardless if that's B Cook or Joshua Williams, that's a throw, anticipation. He threw it before his head was around. That's why you make that kind of throw, and that's why you do that motion to get that, because it's on they said far side, but it's low key damn near the ball's in the middle of the field. But that's a hell of a throw to the field, to the speed out there. So Josh really doesn't have any choice but to do it, because he know if this tight end or 81, whoever this is, runs this little crosser, like DG said, B Cook's not in position to make that play either. So say he does cover him, then the tight end's open. So
I'm gonna go with, I think that Joshua Williams messed up because of the motion. The reason why I'm going to say that is because if you look at the bottom of the screen, and obviously there's no motion here to say, because there's no motion here. Tight end inside 18. Trent McDuffie is playing the outside guy. Justin Reed is going to play from the sticks top down on the tight end. That's K-Dot, and he's going to just play it top down sticks, wait for him to get there. My guess is that they probably have a mirror coverage on the other side, and the motion messed it up to where Josh Williams took the inside guy when he was supposed to take the outside guy. That's my educated guess based on how they played it at the bottom of the screen too.
I mean, in a perfect world, they wanted the blitz to get home. Either A, get to Baker so he doesn't have time to make the throw, or B, mess up his vision. And that's why Christian jumped early to say, hey, if I can't get to you, I'll jump to mess up your vision where you can't make the throw. To make, but that, like I said, that's just a big boy throw. That's just a good throw by
Yeah, it's a
Baker.
good throw. It's a good throw.
Regardless.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let me see if I can grab the other one that they ended up converting. So yeah, it was the other third down, and it wasn't a lot. You know, some of them were runs as well that they ended up having, but it wasn't a lot that they ended up getting. Like it felt like their offense played a lot better, that they actually did. It wasn't as good as you know the actual numbers came out. But this is the other third down that they were able to convert on. Here for 3rd and 10, I think they got 12 or 15 yards on this play. Standard 4-man rush and kind of Cade just winning his one-on-one matchup with Chris Wallace inside. And Otten is a really good tight end, man. You got to give that man credit.
Very really underrated. Good. Very underrated.
So he's going to sell the inside move. Yeah, get outside on him.
I kind of also want to speak to some of the guys that were out there last night. You know, credit. I can't say credit. I'll say I want to encourage, you know, the guys that didn't have to step up and play Christian Wallace, Joshua Williams. Those guys don't get a ton of reps or whatever. So to put them out there in a primetime situation, to have to, you know, go out there and guard, you know, some guys that have real good chemistry with Baker at this point through the season. I know a lot of people harp on us like we need it, especially today with the trade deadline coming. We need a corner, things of that nature. For those guys, I feel like to go out there and limit explosive plays. Yes, there were some times where they were able to move the chains and convert third downs, but to limit the big explosive plays and keep everything kind of in front of you, I still think, to me, in my opinion, is a good situation. I feel like they did a serviceable job and keeping us in the ball game and allowing us, you know, to be able to win it at the end or whatever. And that's all I really can ask for those guys. I think a lot of people expect, you know, these guys to go out there and perform at this high level or whatever. And for some guys, that's not going to be every player. You know, your expectations, I feel like, because some players have to be a little bit lower just because of the amount of reps that they get on top of there's just some guys that just levels to this game, man. You know, some guys are just different than other guys. So, you know, credit to those guys for not, you know, giving up real big explosive plays and really allowing us to not cost us the game.
Yeah, look, and it's one of those things where also on that final drive in which they were able to drive the ball down the field, it's just these guys are going to get targeted. And to your point, DG, similar to years past in which we've put young players on defense and had them try to learn and grow on the fly, these are the growing pains that you're going to have to go through. And Chris Wallace is going to be throwing the fire. Joshua Williams is going to be thrown in the fire. And this was kind of a key play. You had him I think it was the 2nd and 8, and you had a chance maybe to get him in a difficult passing down situation, but it's just Sterling Shepard at the top of the screen just going to shake Chris Wallace to the outside, and Baker makes a good throw. And there's nothing.
Yeah, I don't think you realize Sterling Shepard was a very productive receiver when he was in New York.
The Giants bad. But when he's been healthy, he's been very productive. He's been a very good receiver for sure.
So, like, I'd rather those guys get those mistakes out the way now. Like DG said, like you're getting reps and getting those snaps in. Do it now versus the Buccaneers. Do it now versus the Broncos when we have a 8-0, 7-0 lead on the division and the AFC. More importantly, get those mistakes, get those reps in now. Because now when we come December and January, we won't see those many mistakes when it's crunch time. So like to DG's point, so get it all out now rather before we start playing our good competition when the games matter more.
I got to send you some. Yeah, so I think that it's one of those things. They're just going to be growing pains. Obviously, trade deadline, which we'll talk about here in a second, having wrapped up, Chiefs did not add anything to this point. Is Joshua Uche and this defensive line has got to get to the quarterback a little bit better than they were able to last night, in my opinion. And even so, that'll help out what the secondary can do. So as those things come to fruition, hopefully this defense can have a little bit of better performance, maybe perform a little bit better, but in those specific moments we reference, but as well to CJ's point, is one of those things where Justin Reed catches that interception, totally different ball game. Offense, converts on some key drives, doesn't have the stupid end around, doesn't have the fumble, doesn't have the Xavier Worthy mistake on the first drive, totally different game.
And
Hey
they're
man,
always stupid when they don't work.
when you're running the ball for 4 or 5 yards of carry, just straight ahead, you always got to throw an end around out there.
You know, we
just
get
take
one
on.
cute play in a game. There's always the one. So I know it's
Killing me, man. Be killing me every single time. So yeah, moving on as far as the NFL trade deadline is concerned, there were some trades made today. I will not say that there was anything too crazy. We had some expected deals. Obviously, Zadarius Smith traded from the Browns to the Lions. Not something necessarily immediately directed at the Kansas City
Yeah, that
Chiefs.
deal was done yesterday. They ain't got me
Exactly.
fooled.
Yeah, so that was expected to happen.
wrapped up.
The big one that did actually involve the Chiefs as far as a story aspect, Marshawn Lattimore going from the Saints to the Commanders for a Commanders 3rd round pick, a 4th round pick from the Commanders, and a 6th round pick that's actually was the Saints and the Commanders had, so they sent that back to the Saints. And the Commanders also threw in their own 5th round pick. So this was a kind of a circumstance that people were monitoring throughout the day, and it seemed like this was the one that Veach was trying to get done. And it seemed like the days leading up to yesterday was that the Chiefs were in the lead as far as being able to get this deal done, but the Commanders came in with a really aggressive offer. And look, the Commanders had a little bit of extra draft capital. That's just kind of where they were at with it. They had an extra 3rd. Both of their 3rds were projected to be better than the Chiefs' 3rd that the Chiefs could possibly offer. They had the 4th that they wanted to swap back in the 5th. They had the extra 6th as well. And that was just more than the Chiefs were willing to play, which is completely understandable given some of the age stuff, some of the injury stuff, and obviously some of the contract aspects as well on Marshawn Lattimore's book. So the Chiefs will be rolling forward with the cornerback room that they have as well. There are, some interesting other things that ended up happening. Cole Christensen got released from the Chiefs roster, so they're only at 52 spots. That coincides with Mike Edwards, formerly of the Kansas City Chiefs, that ended up signing with the Bills this offseason, also got cut today as well. So that's something to watch as well. I don't think there's anything.
They granted it too.
Yeah, he granted his release. I don't think there's anything else that, really. The Steelers traded for Mike Williams and what is his name? Smith, the other Smith, Preston Smith from the Packers. So, we'll obviously face them down the line. And then Trey White also went to the Ravens, which Trey White is cooked as far as I'm concerned. That's just me.
Tre'Davious White still playing. Shout out.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm glad he's out there. I want to see him. He loved playing us.
Hey, man.
I don't mind either.
And they got shout out to them getting Gumby, man. I'm proud of them.
Crazy. Gonna be crazy.
Boy ain't got no knees or no Achilles. Boy out there, no ligaments right now.
Just bone on bone.
Bone on bone. Nah. I do want to speak to the Mike Edwards, man. Come on.
Safety room a little crowded. We can always use another guy, you know what I'm saying?
Look, I just think that it would be an extra piece that they could have here. Obviously he would get a lot more playing time here, just based off of him knowing this defense and knowing, what to do. I think that could help them kind of alleviate some of the cornerback issues that they have by putting Shakamari Connor down into the nickel a lot more, allowing Mike Edwards to kind of play over the top and be that free range ball hawking safety that he is. And then, rotating as well as rotating a guy like Jaden Hicks in there as well too, and bringing another veteran into the room for Jaden Hicks, a guy like that to learn from at this point in time, teach him Spags' system. So I think it makes a lot of sense for Mike Edwards to be back in Kansas City. I hope Brett Veach feels the same way. I think they probably can get a decent deal done for him to come back here on another 1 year and come chase another ring with us, big fella. Come home. Let's chase the 3-peat, bro.
We already got 4 or 5 safeties right now because we still got your boy Deshaun on practice squad. So make it 6 now. So hey, I'm with it. Mike made big plays for us last year. He was a ball hawk. Got some turnovers for us in the playoffs. So I'm always with it. Safety room is crowded because Jaden got a lot more snaps last night. I think he got his career high 9 snaps, almost double digits last night. So more than important, he got a lot on defense in the middle of the field. So I would love to see Mike back. I love his time here. He's definitely a guy that you can trust. He's going to be in the right position to make plays. He's always figuring out a way to always be around the ball. But the safety room kind of crowded right now. I wish he played corner. That'd be amazing. But for a safety, I'm not pressed to have him come back, but if he did, I would be more than happy to welcome him for sure.
Well, look, it's one of those things where similar to the conversation that we kind of had when you lost the wide receiver depth that you had. It's like, all right, well, we got to do more heavy personnel set. You got to use what you got. So, and we know Spags and Dave Merritt, them guys are going to use what they have. So, if it ends up being, hey, we're going Mike Edwards, are going to do a little bit more safeties, and that means more Shamari Connor at cornerback, and it is what it is. You got to use what you have. Maybe that's the way that they would look at it as well. Chris asked obviously about Andrew Booth. You got released by the Vikings today. Somebody also that you can.
Clemson boy Booth. Yeah.
I mean, he's got a lot of pedigree, but he's not. I don't think he's particularly good. There was one other quarterback that got released by the Giants today that I found to be a little bit interesting, which unfortunately his name does escape me, which is a shame. I'll see if I can find it.
I had a feeling if we were gonna ask somebody, it would probably be like a smaller name, somebody on a roster that's probably not a household. I'm sorry if I can find somebody.
Also, you got Najee coming back,
Yeah,
that'll help.
And there's no guarantee that Jay Watt's out for the year, which I know the media likes to embellish on a lot of comments and assume that a player's gonna be out for the year. So he tweeted out today and then deleted it that who said that when somebody mentioned he was out for the year. So.
Which nobody did say that he was going to be out for the year. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Just they assume he's hurt. They're like, oh, we got to add a corner, and then I'm like, let's just wait to see how it plays out. So, I think hopefully he does come back. I never thought because originally I never thought he was out for the year. I thought he was going to be out for maybe like IR purposes, like 4 weeks. I didn't know it was that serious. That was a precautionary. But if he can come back, that'd be amazing. And get him and Najee back before the playoffs start, or more importantly, before December. But like we've stated, another body would always help, regardless of who it is.
I think for him, if it just kind of depends on the fracture. If it's sort of like a small hairline fracture, then maybe it's a possibility that he could be out there, towards the end of the season. Same situation, kind of like it's Hollywood, but I just kind of assumed that he was gonna be done for the year. Maybe there was a shot for him to come back in the playoffs or something like that. But if there's a possibility to get him back. Yeah, definitely love to have him out there. But I think Najee Johnson, especially coming back from his concussion, I think that he could be serviceable enough to kind of hold down that CB2 position as well, or CB3 along with rotating with him and Shamari Connor.
It wasn't Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, but the DBs did their job. They did good enough. And also, we knew they were going to struggle. Thrusting in positions they haven't really been used to playing, their first time playing that many significant snaps, if anything. But Najee coming back, a very easy schedule because most of the good receiving cores we saw in the year are already behind us now. So going forward, outside of Buffalo and Houston did have Diggs, but he's out for the year. Pittsburgh is going to be a fun group. They added Mike Williams and George Pickens, always fun to play against. But outside of that Texans game, which was the biggest one for me because it was going to be at home. That was going to be a potential AFC Championship matchup for me versus Diggs and Nico and Tank Dale. It's still going to be a good matchup with Tank and Nico, but it's not as a scary matchup without Diggs out there for sure. So, it's not too many great receiving cores we see going forward outside of Buffalo and Amari Cooper and Shakir. So that'll be a fun matchup. But outside of that, not really too many huge tests until we get to the playoffs. So,
and they scare me a little bit more because of the tight ends, honestly, that group and what they bring to the table running the ball too.
Dawson told me, boy, it's gonna be a long week for us that week, boy.
Yeah, it's a defense will have its work cut out for. But look, getting Najee back and obviously
Justin.
Well, no, it's it.
We know that. Hey, it is what it is, bro. We gotta state the obvious. You know they going at you. We know it. They know it. What you gonna do to stop it? What you gonna do about
America? So that's gonna be something that we're gonna have to deal with, obviously. DG, why did you make that face?
Oh, I was looking at I'm sorry, y'all. I've been trying to track the updated results for the Amendment 2.
I saw Amendment 2 was making a nice comeback. Look, I put 20 on Amendment 2 money line at halftime, so we'll see what is happening.
It's looking pretty good. They they -6 spread on right now. So it's looking looking pretty good. The votes for yes are really up. It's kind of shocking because it didn't start off great or whatever, but of course a lot of the votes are coming in. Supposedly what I'm hearing from, especially on Twitter, that a lot of the rural areas in Missouri have voted yes on it. So that's a good thing.
They don't want to drive to Kansas.
Bruh, they tired of making that drive.
I'm tired. Like
I'm tired. Midnight? I'll be like, bruh.
That's
I just
all
want
I'm
a live
happening.
bet for my house just one time.
Man, can a brother just, in the bed, just wake up?
Man, I don't want to get up.
Hey. Sheesh.
So, yeah, I mean that's the thing. I don't think anything really shifted too much as far as the trade deadline was concerned. Shout out to the Commanders, man, going for it, going out and getting Marshawn Lattimore.
Commanders.
But I don't think anything really traded as far as that's concerned. Like we expected, Zadarius Smith to go to the to go to the Lions. They needed a pass rusher. I think you can give about 80% of that. What they had, 85%.
You saying Jonathan Mingo to the Cowboys didn't move the needle for you?
My needle.
The Cowboys.
Boy,
hey man, can I? Hold on, can
Jesus
you
Christ
take
to come down there?
Jerry Jones is so unserious.
Who decision was this?
You know who it is. You know who it is. He got on radio this morning and said,
I'm about to make a move.
Making a move for a player that we really liked coming out of college, man. This guy was cool. When I saw the news come across my timeline, and I
Jonathan
Mingo for a 4th round pick, he went for a higher pick than what D Hop got traded. What's the other receivers they got moved?
Deontay got moved for nothing, basically.
Amari Cooper,
Devontae and Cooper were a lot
Everybody.
cheaper. Cooper got traded away from the Cowboys for less than what they just traded for Jonathan Mingo.
You came up with 4.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Look, the Panthers, man, y'all are thieves. Y'all are thieves, man. Because there ain't no way. As soon as y'all would have said a 4th, I would have hung up the phone on you.
Click.
Right? Like a 4th round pick for Jonathan Mingo?
What we talking about?
Yeah.
Ole Miss finest Jonathan Mingo, too.
Look, shout thoughts and prayers to Cowboys fans.
They need it. They
everywhere.
God Almighty. Only in Texas.
Delusion.
So yeah, that's the NFL trade deadline wrap up, which is so funny. So funny.
Funny day.
I said Jonathan Mingo.
Let's go ahead and skip ahead and go to the week 9 power rankings really quickly and take a look at those. Obviously last week, Chiefs, Lions, Bills were the top 3. Commanders 4. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't have any reason to change any one of those. They all kind of handled their business. I think they're cool. And Eagles were 5. I mean, Nick Sirianni tried to give the game away, but that pretty much stayed the same.
Definitely tried to give the game away multiple times. That boy's so slow.
Multiple times, to say the least. But yeah, so 7, 8, 9, 10, to see where exactly we want to land as far as those teams are concerned. This is kind of where the teams start to separate out moving forward as well. But Steelers, Falcons, Ravens. No, we had Ravens at 6. So yeah,
Ravens are at 6.
Steelers, Falcons.
Steelers didn't play. So I guess
Packers
go down again. Packers got smacked up.
I mean,
the Falcons beat the Cowboys, but it's not
the Texans got smacked up by the Jets. So I mean,
it's really of a who's who at this last 3 floors for sure.
I would say I think you still put the Steelers in there. Still playing.
They didn't lose.
Yeah.
Sure. So I'll go Steelers, Falcons 7 and 8, and then 9, 10. Boy howdy. Our Texans I guess we're maybe dropping them out of the top 10. I'll give a shout out. Chargers handled their business. Got to give them credit for doing so. Cardinals are leading the NFC West. The Rams won.
Thunk that.
Yeah, that's a thing that happened. The Vikings won. That's a thing. That was an ugly Sunday night game. My goodness, that game was ugly.
Trash.
It's disgusting.
Still though, they're 6-2 at this point in time.
Vikings, yeah, they are.
You can play who you can play. So
I suppose that is accurate.
I think Joe Flacco is a standing statue back there.
It's an understatement. I think I want to This is tough. I think I want to give a shout out to the Chargers because they're playing really good football on both sides of the ball, and specifically their defense has been very good as well. So I think I might, Chargers Vikings 9-10 uh, might be the place to land for me. How you guys feel about that?
Yeah.
Chargers, Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Vikings starting to get a little exposed a little bit. Chargers keep winning. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, Chargers been sneakily good over the last couple of weeks.
Taking
And
advantage of that schedule.
I'm not surprised at all. I felt like Jim Harbaugh was gonna come in here and be able to kind of turn that organization around. Shout out to QJ, man. QJ just finds the end zone.
Boy catching the ball now, ain't he?
Just finds the end zone. Anytime touchdown for QJ.
Mm-hmm.
Johnson.
We'll see. I think we'll probably give the gold star to the Lions.
Yeah. They continue to look good. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery are still best running back duo in the league. They got a top
still them boys.
5 to 8-ish receiver, I feel like, in Amon-Ra. Top 10 tight end in Laporta. Jared Goff is, playing well. The defense, surprisingly, still without Aiden Hutchinson, still playing really well. So that back end's holding over. Carson Davis, I think, has been a big addition for them this year, and being able to kind of go out there and guard, team.
Yeah, Robertson, Terrion Arnold, all them boys. Yeah.
Secondary is a lot better this year for them.
They were so bad last year.
Yes, they were terrible.
Awesome.
Yes, they were. My goodness. So that's the power rankings. We do have a game. It's a little bit of a quick turnaround. Obviously, noon game. Chiefs once again out of Arrowhead
Sunday
versus the Broncos. This is a Broncos team that obviously got smacked up by the Ravens, but had been playing good football up until that point. Defense playing well, and the offense has been functional with Bo Nix and Javonte Williams doing their thing a little bit. So it's an interesting challenge that they present. Still not a large tight end usage. We'll see what Sean Payton decides to try and cook up to kind of attack the middle of the field. We know Cortland Sutton is playing some good football as well. So the cornerbacks will be under stress from that standpoint. I do expect that the Chiefs, should be able to win this game, of course, but we'll get into the matchup from that aspect. So Chiefs offense versus Broncos defense. Obviously, Patrick Surtain Jr. Presents presents a massive challenge to what you can bring to the table in trying to, get the job done as well. Yes, I do agree. We can't let up to get at least 13 games. And their front seven has also played very well to this point. So what are you guys going to be looking out for as far as Chiefs offense versus the Broncos defense?
Safeties.
Yeah. The division game, obviously, always tough when you play in division. Sean Payton and them were able to, went up there to Denver last year, were able to finally beat us, put together a winning formula. That defense is young. They fly around. Got one of the best corners in the league in Patrick Surtain Jr. So I expect them to have a good game plan put together. They're going to come in ready, wanting to beat us and play us tough. Probably be a little bit physical, especially at the line of scrimmage. So offensive line will have to be ready. Fortunately enough, they did trade away one of their, I feel like, kind of better pieces in Baron Brownie, who had put up some good numbers from them. So he's out of the division now, so don't have to see him. So, it's what I always expect from this matchup, man. It's an old school AFC West rivalry. I would think that we would, continue to keep doing what we're doing, establishing the run, using Kareem Hunt, leaning on him pretty heavily, especially after a quick turnaround from last week. So that's kind of what I expect from the offensive side of the ball. Continue to develop that chemistry with D-Hop. Probably see Patrick Surtain versus D-Hop a lot on some downs and stuff. So that'd be a fun matchup to watch for.
For sure.
It kind of just feels like for me it's going to be another Travis Kelce type game with adding D-Hop into this room and the attention is going to have to be placed on him. So that's what I
for sure.
Yeah. And so I think that they have the minor advantage kind of on the ground. They've been solid against the run, but not great or stand out from that aspect. They've been great versus the pass, though they are number one as far as EPA per drop back versus the pass right now, as far as their defense is concerned. Broncos still being able to get the job done. So that's a place where we're gonna have to find some success. And truthfully, it's kind of crazy. And this talks to what specifically the Chiefs were able to do last night versus the Buccaneers. It's kind of a mismatch where the early downs and the ability for the Broncos to kind of get teams behind the sticks have worked very well for them. That's also why they've had a really good job defending the pass. But the late downs, third and fourth down, is where we've been excellent throughout the entirety of the season. We're first as far as third and fourth down success rate. They're kind of middle of the pack from that standpoint. If we have the ability to maybe get ourselves with the run game ahead of the six and then be able to be successful on those late downs, I feel good about what our offense can do. Just going to be a little bit difficult if we aren't able to establish that run as well early on. Let's see. As far as the Chiefs defense versus the Broncos offense, flipping sides, obviously Bo Nix and Javonte Williams, as we talked about. From my perspective, this is just about being able to shut down the run. This defense is better than that. And then making it very difficult for Bo Nix in drop back situations they haven't had a lot of success with. As long as they handle their business on early downs, which they have been, I don't think that Baker Mayfield type of performance on late downs is going to replicate itself. So how do you guys feel about the Chiefs defense going up against this Broncos offense and the challenges it presents?
Mobile quarterback, that's probably the first thing that comes to mind. Usually the guys that give us the most issues are the ones that can extend plays with their legs. The Josh Allens, the Lamar Jacksons, Bo Nix, he's in that mold of not arm talent wise, but you can still use his legs. He's very athletic. You can see that in the Ravens game on Sunday. He extended a lot of plays. They were in the red zone a lot. They just didn't finish a lot of their drives. So they were moving the ball. They just couldn't. And like the Baltimore secondary isn't really nothing to snuff at, honestly. But overall, Denver still did move the ball up and down the field. Cortland Sutton was involved heavily, so I expect him to get targeted. They're probably going to line him up opposite of Trent, so he's going to get a lot of work this week for sure. So Josh Williams is going to have his work cut out for him. Offensively, Javonte is going to run the ball. They're going to throw into McLaughlin and try to get their other guys involved as well. Maybe estimate if they get to that point. But they traded away. That actually released was the Dolchich. He got released the other day, so he's no longer on the roster. So that's one less weapon for Bo Nix to have. But Troy Frank has been one of his better targets, and they've had other guys that have tried to get involved. But overall, they're going to let Bo go out there and throw the ball and try to win the game. He's not a guy that they're kind of putting handcuffs on. They let him throw the ball 30-plus times if need be. So his legs going to be very key. We can't let him extend plays and let guys make some fluky-type plays. Just keep him in the pocket, get some pressure on him, force him into a mistake. He is prone to throw interceptions, so I expect us to get one, if not two, on Sunday for sure.
Yeah, I expect the same thing, man. You're bringing in a rookie to a kind of a hostile, I would say one of the better hostile environments in the NFL. Kind of intrigued to see how they handle that kind of pressure, especially for this being his first game in here. I think the main thing for the Chiefs, like CJ said, is trying to contain, keeping him in the pocket and making him make plays with his arm instead of with his feet, and not being able to kind of stay ahead of the chains, put them in some crucial third and longs or second and longs, and making it really difficult for them to move the chains. And that obviously is also going to start with stopping the run, something that the Chiefs have been really, really good at this year. So stop the run early, earn the right to pass rush when you pass rush, and just get home and try to force Bo Nix into some mistakes that rookies are prone to kind of make, especially when they come here and play in Arrowhead. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a fascinating portion of it is just that safety matchup, man. Can you guys give us a little bit better coverage? And obviously, Justin Reed is a big piece of it, but just give us a little bit better coverage. And can this defensive line really try and impact the game on a consistent basis? And that's really the biggest thing that they're going to be able to do. To your point, Spagnuolo will have some things cooked up for Bo Nix, and that's what's going to come down to, because I do think that once again we'll be able to shut down the run game as well. So All that being said, Chiefs versus Broncos, X Factor and game predictions, guys. Let's see what we got.
X Factor. I think I don't know. I always try to go with somebody that wouldn't say too often. Mm. I'll say this. Maybe X Factor again. Probably, I would say Justin Watson. Had a decent game this last game. Was able to do some things to move the chains for us. Really, some really crucial downs. I feel like Pat is kind of being able to find him a little bit more. Like I said, with all the attention being on D Hop and Travis Kelce, that third guy has kind of got to step up, and that could be a plethora of McCole Harmon, Xavier Worthy, or Justin Watson. But I feel like Justin is a veteran, does his job, knows where to sit sometimes in zone to help Pat out in certain situations. So hopefully this week he continues with another great week and is able to move the chains for us.
Absolutely.
Prediction?
Prediction?
Dub.
Yeah, dub. I don't know, bro. This is I can't.
You know this game gonna be weird.
Yeah, this is gonna be a weird game. I'll
Super
say
weird.
Chiefs win 23-20. I don't expect them to blow them out. I don't expect I'm not calling any more blowouts or anything like that. I think
Until we start catching picks, we ain't blowing nobody up.
yeah, I think that especially coming off a short week, a little bit banged up, just or whatever. This could be one of those games. And I've just been kind of waiting on it. This would be one of those games where the Chiefs kind of sleepwalk, sort of kind of how they did, this last game for the first half, and let the Broncos kind of hang around, and then we'll be getting a Harrison Butker 43-yard field goal to win a game.
There you go. CJ, what about you?
X Factor, I would probably say would be a guy like Leo Chenal or Drew Tranquil, one of those guys, because like we just said, Bo Nix is going to extend a lot of plays. He doesn't like to give up sacks. He's going to try to extend the play and give his guys time to get open. We know the receiving core isn't that talented outside of Cortland Sutton, so he's going to get a lot of opportunities. But Drew Tranquil and Leo Chenal, keeping Bo Nix in the pocket, forcing him to rush his throws, rush his processing, and try to force a turnover or two via interception would be preferred. I think that'll help us out a lot. So those are my X Factors. And my score prediction is Chiefs win 27-17.
Be nice.
I'm not mad.
Yeah, 27-17. I'm cool with that.
Nice.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. X Factor, as far as I'm concerned, I'm gonna look at Nazi Johnson. I think that he'll be back from his concussion. What he's gonna be able to do kind of to help out this DB room, I think will be very important. It's one of those things where he's gonna get targeted. I think he has pretty good ball skills, probably the best right now of the DBs outside of, you maybe even want to include Trent McDuffie. So I think that Nazi Johnson can come away with a Bo Nix mistake in this game. It's just going to, come down to what that level of play brings. I do like that 23-20 prediction from you, DG. I'm probably going to end up going like 24-21 personally. I think that's where I'm going to land, to be honest with you. I think that it's going to be a close game. It's going to come down to it late, and they're going to get out of there with a win as well. So,
no blowouts.
No blowouts. We're not doing no blowouts.
Give me a pick. We're gonna get a pick six eventually. I think we get one this week.
Yeah, hopefully Trent McDuffie.
Man,
somebody, please.
Right.
Well, what we got to do is all we have to do is just re-sign Dan Sorensen because he loved getting pick sixes versus the Broncos.
Right. I did think we did get one question about the Mike Evers thing.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I thank you for saying that because I didn't mean to come back to that. We did discuss a little bit earlier that he would probably be the number one name that would come up, and being able to use Jamari Conner maybe a little bit more as a cornerback as a result of re-signing Mike Edwards and his ball production. So I think we're all in favor of bringing him back if that is the move as well. But don't be surprised if it's a cornerback instead. So we'll see. Let me see. let's do this real quick. Unfortunately, we were close. We were close. We did not get it. Noah Gray did not necessarily have the game that you expected him to have. DG, really all of us.
2 for 3 again. God, we so close, bro.
Two for 3. We were trying to get that sweep.
He
Obviously,
couldn't get one, like
Bro,
one catch.
Pat smoked him like 2 times when he was throwing it to him.
I'm like, Pat, you've been going to him all these last couple weeks, and then the one time I tell the people, easy money, 3 catches, rainy conditions. You know, this is a tight end game. You saw it with K. Dotton.
You did.
You couldn't.
You saw it with Travis Kelce too.
Yeah, like
it ain't like that.
Obviously, I picked the wrong tight end.
Hey, you saw it with Peyton Henderson.
Yeah. Like Peyton Henderson gets a catch. Like,
that's
come
nasty.
on, dog.
That's so
Pat, yeah, Pat sold us, bro. It was Pat's fault. I'm putting it on Pat.
He did smoke him on one throw. I was like, Lord Jesus. He threw it all over his head. I was like, yeah, he don't want Noah to be great today.
So that's unfortunate, but we'll
get a sweep, man.
We'll be right back again Sunday morning with our tell the truth trifecta for you guys to go ahead and put in as that game. It will be getting closer to kickoff on Sunday from that standpoint. The last thing that I did want to show is I did tease this last week as far as teams we are putting to bed this NFL season because we're past the midway point, and it's just time for some of y'all to just be ignored, to be honest with you, like the Patriots and Titans game that ended up happening yesterday as well, or Sunday, I should say. So I did my, kind of quick NFL team tiers, but you guys tell me if you guys feel the same. Anybody on those bottom 2 rows, I don't think is making the playoffs, and I think we can put that to rest. Do you guys have any disagreements with that?
I would drop the Jaguars to draft prep.
Okay.
Them last 2 rows look the same to me.
I would drop. Cleveland needs to go down there. The Dolphins probably need to. I probably move everybody down there besides the Bucs and the Cowboys. Maybe keep the Jets. Maybe. The Jets got an outside chance of possibly making a run at this point in time. But yeah,
the Colts are not making the playoffs. You could move them down.
Yeah, annoying, but they're probably bad.
Yeah,
they may end up. Those 3 teams at the end of French playoff are definitely on a hot seat. Yeah. They're on a hot seat as far as I'm concerned. But I felt like those 12 at the bottom, we could kind of lay to bed and say, yeah, you guys are either going to be annoying to play because you guys still have good players, but are probably going to lose and aren't going to make the playoffs, or you're just absolutely terrible and you're going to be draft prepping for the rest of the league year. So yeah. That's kind of just wanted to close the loop as far as laying to rest. And we'll revisit that, not necessarily every single week, but just as it becomes relevant from that aspect too. So without it gave you life.
It gave you life.
The bad news is they gave you life.
So we got your payment, buddy, but they gave you life.
Sayonara.
Yes, hopefully we can bet in Missouri.
Please God.
Yeah,
imagine being able to place bets in the Arrowhead parking lot. Wouldn't that be great?
Imagine catching an ATV.
Updated results: 505,000 votes to 465,000 votes. 505 for yes.
We're on the right path.
It's on the right track. It's about 30% reporting for votes right now.
All right. All that being said, that's all we got for you guys tonight. Once again, please do be on the lookout for us. Once again, every single Tuesday, right here on Kingdom Cast Tell the Truth podcast will be going off. Shout out to you guys for sticking with us for 50 episodes. It's kind of awesome to have 50 episodes of this.
Another 50 on the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, sir, for sure.
With a 3P.
Yes, sir. Thursday, we'll have Kingdom Cast as well. Do make sure you check out me and DG did our midseason roster review. If you guys haven't had a chance to take a look, we kind of went through every single position group and talked about who performed, who overperformed, who underwhelmed a little bit to this point in the season. A lot of fun talking with DG about that. Other than that, I think that we're good to go ahead and get on out of here. CJ, DJ, anything before we get out?
Nah, man, just be on the lookout for the trifecta coming out. Also follow, join the Bet the House Discord.
Bet the house, baby.
A lot of money being made in there.
Yeah, link in the bio, and then looks like we might get legal, y'all. So let's get it, man.
Please, God.
God willing. So
Please,
yeah,
Jesus.
nothing else to say. Chiefs stay undefeated, man. Tell the truth, episode 50. We're going here to wrap up, man. Peace out.
Hey, no.
Go Chiefs.
Love, y'all. Chiefs.